So hi, welcome to Binge Buddies. I don't know why
You are
that's
so
funny.
enthused this week. I love it.
This is a rough recording weekend for us here at Binge
Nine
Buddies.
Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah, 9 Nights at Freddy's. 9 Nights with Freddy. Jesus.
Happy anniversary, Nightmare on Elm Street. We're going to talk about some shitty movies.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some of the worst things you've ever put out, and from what I understand, it only gets worse from here.
Oh no!
Yay!
7 is good. 7 is good.
7 is good. That's one of the ones that I'd seen. So me, your host, always Bryan.
Well, I mean,
with me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog, Huyman Digging Shovel Dykes.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Huyman.
Huyman.
Terrific.
Huyman. Hoyman. Huyman.
Why do I feel like Stewie in front again?
I don't
Cool Whip.
Cool whip. Cool whip.
Yeah, that was I've never heard of the brand, but apparently it's the #1 best gardening tool you can buy. This shovel. It's a real good shovel.
I now have to go out and buy one.
This shovel does everything. It makes you breakfast. It digs your holes.
I mean, that
Might
does sound
even
pretty
make
cool.
you like Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
It'll julienne your fries.
Yeah, what Ryan said is impossible. But we do have Joel Flexzilla Garden Hose DeWitt.
I mean, Flexzilla, I love.
We're done. We're done recording. We're done.
It's
I mean, I kind of feel like we should have saved that for a Godzilla podcast. Like,
Yeah.
products that end in Zilla.
I think he in the old '80s jazzercise dance outfit. Yeah.
Roll credits. We're done.
I mean, it is like lime green, like 80s jazzercise sort of stuff.
Is there a bit of pinks in there as well?
Nope, just green. It's all green. But we also have Ryan Dram One Touch Shower and Stream Lutens. That's a hose nozzle. They don't say that in the name. Shower and stream.
I don't, One Touch is alluding to a lot of things, so thank you.
Yeah, shower and stream.
We do have a
Shower and Stream
5.
sounds like a new version of Netflix and Chill.
It does, yeah. Slightly more adult version.
I missed something there because I came back into the version of Netflix and Chill.
Oh, did you not hear Ryan's nickname? It's Dram One Touch Shower and Stream.
This could be,
That sounds like.
I'm going to leave it all to the imagination. We don't
Right,
need it.
I feel like this is a little too close to Ryan's routine.
Let the viewers run with it. Let them go. It's okay, Joel.
Some good nicknames. I like these much better than what we were stuck with during the good days or good place days. Those are rough nicknames. These are less rough.
Great show. Terrible nicknames.
Yeah, I could have fixed it and I didn't. So I guess
I think it
that's on
worked. I think it worked.
I
for
mean,
what
we knew you weren't going to, Brian, because it's you.
me. I don't know how to take that, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Some great shots here.
All right, let's do what we do now, and we're gonna watch the trailer together. You guys excited to watch the trailer together?
I'm excited to watch the fourth trailer.
That's what we're
I'm
watching.
looking forward to watching some silent movies.
Are you still not hearing it?
I heard "Go Team Venture" as part. That's what I heard of the intro.
Okay.
Yes,
Are
just
you guys
for
seeing
reference.
my screen yet, or no?
No.
No, I can still see
No.
everyone.
No. Great. Lovely.
And I can
Love
see
it.
you too, Matt.
Hold on. We can make this work. We're going to share screen. Don't show these tips again. This is all great podcasting right here.
I know this is so good. This podcasting, like we've
People are
really
gonna learn
nailed
from
it down. We've
what
really
not
nailed
to
the
do.
art form down to let's keep in all the technical difficulties we have.
Well,
That's probably more true.
That's false. Wes Craven horror movie.
all right, I'm starting it.
We did finally get to the New Lines, the modern day New Line cinema.
Yeah.
True.
Mm.
Okay.
Is everybody hearing it except for Joel?
No.
I can't hear it now.
Oh boy.
Well, just look at it silent. We'll figure that out next week.
Hi, I'm the girl from Home Improvement.
She was in Home Improvement?
Not her, the other one, the young girl.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm definitely not Patricia Arquette.
Just
Hi,
definitely
I'm-
not Patricia Arquette.
I'm a failing musician. I did the first song.
Oh, is this Tuesday?
That's Tuesday night.
I had no idea who the person was. I just looked at the name. Like I really, oof, this movie. It's very.
I really
loud in
did
my
not like
headphones.
It's not good.
The fact that you guys can't hear it is like it's making it very difficult to talk. Like it's so loud.
That's some good.
It's
Let's
oppressive
just
in
do
my
this.
head.
Let's just mute the trailer and just have us, mystery.
I actually
science
think it's
theater
probably-
the shit out of this.
I actually think it's probably better muted than it is
Yeah.
with the sound. Like,
It's really bad with the sound.
Guys, this is the first time I remember seeing some of these images.
There's the bug lady. I remember the bug lady.
Kincaid.
I don't remember that scene at all. What
That's
was
right.
that?
Yeah, this is.
How sweet
Oh.
fresh meat.
Yeah.
They do the callback in Freddy vs. Jason.
does it
But
say
not,
that for
not
vs.
PC.
Jason?
But not PC.
Oh, now it's a cat commercial.
Oh, self-cleaning litter box.
Right
That's
in
my-
the litter box, right where it belongs,
Yeah,
right?
that's my email. All right, we're gonna stop sharing our screens. Okay, well, I'm sure that was a very entertaining segment for those of you who couldn't hear the the trailer.
Don't
aka
dub it. Just let
everyone
us
but
talk.
me. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of that, and I know it was in the movie. So here we are. I'm gonna do my review of Freddy 4. So when I watched Freddy 3 for last week's episode, I was like Kamala Harris after the debate. Like, oh yeah, man, I got this. This is gonna be great. This was my election night. Like, it was so bad.
This
is gonna be a good
pain
episode.
in your voice right now. You say that. But yeah, this is. This is the way. This is the same level of catastrophe.
Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
like the only way I can think of it is in terms of like other films that we've been like, going from like such a great film to like a huge drop in quality I'm just thinking like going from Friday the 13th Part 4 to Friday the 13th Part 5, like a huge drop in quality, like acting quality dropping, production quality kind of dropping as well, and just kind of, I don't know. I know this film has got a lot of fans out there, and I just wonder if
does.
it's the nostalgia that's painting that, or if it's just like, this wasn't a film for me. Maybe if I watched it when I was younger, I would have enjoyed it more. But I don't know.
But
So-
before Ryan, before you get into it, I'm gonna wager a guess as to why people might like this movie.
Oh, this
It's
should be-
because they've seen the series so many times that they are used to the Freddy that is a loudmouth smartass instead of actually trying to scare the viewer.
That could be, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, this is the one where we start to get a lot more of that in, like, where he puts the sunglasses on, and it's like, yeah, cool dude with the
He's
sunglasses.
more pop culture.
Yeah. But I don't know, because we get a lot of that in 3. Like, we get Welcome to Prime Time, bitch, in 3. There is a lot of the sort that quippiness coming through in 3. I guess with 4, it's just kind of like they really lean into it a bit more.
Yes.
Like, well, not a bit more, a lot more.
So
Like, it
this-
becomes Freddy's whole personality at that point.
This movie for me, I can remember I had on VHS. And so it is one that I probably went to a lot. This movie is not good, but it is entertaining. It is an entertaining
not.
film.
I
It is
fell
for me.
asleep.
It is for me.
Passed out.
It is for me. Robert Englund is fine in it. Lisa Wilcox is okay. Tuesday night, no.
Tuesday Night sucks. I'm
she
sorry.
sucks.
Like,
She was so
she
bad.
is not
But
a
for
good
me-
actress.
But for
Great
me,
name though. Great
Yeah.
name.
Great
for
name.
me, Rennie Harlan, he goes on to do Cliffhanger. He goes on to do Deep Blue Sea. He goes
Die
on
Hard
to
2.
Die Hard 2 right after this.
Okay.
This helps him get into the business. This movie is made on the fly, and for being made on the fly, it is not bad. Is the movie crafting good? Absolutely not. But I mean, do you get the overall sense of a dream master, Freddy guarding a gate, the idea of a transfer of power to like a dream master? Yes, the story is simple. Is it high level intellect? No. It is just if you shut your mind off, you're gonna be okay. The kills are good, minus the brother. No,
The kills are not good.
Ryan, you're so willing to grade on a curve here,
Yeah,
but the
no
problem is that
way.
if you're going from a curve from F to D minus, it's not meaningful enough for it to
Here's what I'm
be
gonna
like,
say.
okay.
The kills in this they're not 3-level quality, right? But they're better than 5 and they're better than 6.
Here's my pushback on the kills. I think the setup for the kills is interesting every single time. And when you actually get to the offing off of the character, it's bloodless and it's boring.
How could you call Joey's? Well, we'll get into it. How could you call? But that's a whole bed of blood, and Joey's.
No, is it water?
It's water. It's a water bed, and then like the Kincaid one, it's just literally a poke in the belly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but that's what that drove me nuts. Like, it wasn't until like the bug lady where I'm like, this actually feels like a nightmare again.
You didn't like how Sheila? Is it Sheila? How that whole thing went down? I thought that was great. I think
I thought the suck face one was okay.
The mechanized hand coming out of the desk was stupid. But
yeah.
The shrinking of the body or the soul being sucked out and then having it be an asthma attack is way better than Greta fucking flailing and choking.
I mean, I'll give you that, but it just didn't. I don't know how to say it. Like, it didn't work. Every time something started happening for me, I'm like, this feels cheap and uninspired. I'm coming off of 3, and that's like I'm coming to these things blind, and like going into 3, this movie made me appreciate 3 a lot more because it made me go, oh, this is a lot more difficult than what you would expect. Because watching 4. Yeah, I'll go to Kincaid one because that for me was like where this movie lost me and it never was able to get me back because I really liked Kincaid in the first movie. I thought he was a really interesting character and I liked the dream powers. Dream powers gone. The exception of you need to take my power, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, like what? Like
what?
Yeah.
Orb of magic, just did not work. But I'm watching the Kincaid sequence, and he's in this it's almost like a like Jenga tower with cars, like labyrinth, sort of like.
I think it's supposed to be where Freddy's bones are buried.
Where they buried?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that. But it's so cool, seeing the cars move and oh, he is in it now. He is in it. Freddy's coming after him. We're back at it, and then it's nothing's happening. And it dawned on me. I'm like, this is boring. Nothing's happening. And when he finally gets killed, it's just a bloodless poke in the belly. I'm like, this was a major character from the last movie, and what? You just ran out of gas. It just. Ugh.
And my interpretation with Kincaid is, when he comes back, and he's strong. But see, that's where I almost agree with you because if Kincaid was supposed to be the strong one, and for him to get off so easy, I can see the disconnect there.
It's not just that as well. It's like you have Kincaid try to fight back, and he pushes a car on top of Freddy, and he's like, "Yeah, I beat him." It's like, do you not remember what you had to do in the last one?
Yeah,
the stuff that you had to go through. Freddy ain't gonna get killed by you dropping a dream car onto him as well.
No way.
And it just the acting from even Kincaid's acting, Joey's acting, same actors from the last one.
What
way
happened?
Worse though. Did they just not care? I mean, maybe they didn't care. Maybe they read the script and oh, I'm dead in page 5. Well, fine, I'll turn up and get paid, but
moving on.
I'm not gonna try.
How do movie contracts for stuff like this work? Would they have signed them on with an obligation to do a second movie?
Possibly. It depends.
Yeah, I don't. It really depends on the franchise, and at that point, franchising because they. I read the quote from Trisha Arquette. She signed on for one movie, so they asked her to come back, and she's like, "Nah," which was definitely the right call.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know because and that's the thing that's really frustrating. So it's not a bad director, but the direction in this was just all over the place. And knowing they made it, firing from the hip, as Ryan's telling us, or those of you who watch the documentary, that does explain a lot. But it doesn't. The problem is
anything. The problem is with this one, the writer's strike happened. So they had they got a script. It was in a condition, but then the writers went on strike, so they couldn't really do any rewrites. So they just basically started shooting the script, and then when they were having issues, they just kind of tried to figure it out on the fly. And I think that's kind of where it sort of, why to me it feels like you get these really cool concepts and these really
Yeah.
interesting ideas, but then nothing happens with it.
Yep.
Like the
Disappointing.
time loop thing, I think that was great. That's a great idea to, like, you know, in a dream, lock people into a time loop. They're going again and again and again. And it's like, oh, we've done this before. But then it just, again, nothing happens with that. Like, they don't, it's just a way of, you know, just keeping them out of the way while the bug stuff can happen. But then nothing happens after that. Like, there's no kind of like battle to get out of the time loop. It's just, oh no, she's dead. Oh, let's wake up. Like, that's the best you could do with that. You took an really intriguing concept and then just discarded it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
do
the best
something
part-
with it.
Yeah, and the best part about that too is they get her power, but then they're in the car and they see Freddy. So are they awake? Are they not? But then they
Yeah,
run
exactly.
into him.
They drive into a tree. So wait, were they
Yeah.
just sleep driving?
I don't
Like
know.
it just like the logic of the rules that they've set up starts to fall down as well, because like if they're in a dream and they're asleep, then they wouldn't be able to get stuck in a time loop. But if they're asleep, how the hell are they driving around in this car
Right.
and not crashing into stuff?
And like I get that like Freddy will eventually, like when he starts winning, like they've shown us from the very beginning, like when he starts actually like he's gonna kill these people, they start moving around in real life like they are in their dream. Like you saw like in the first movie, like Tina's like floating through the air and all that sort of shit. Like that starts happening. It just, I don't know why it didn't work for me here. Like I'm watching them drive the car. I'm like, this was like, where did you fall asleep? At what point?
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like part of me wants to forgive the movie, like, oh, it's trying to be smart, like, oh, you don't know when did the dream start, like there's just no execution on that, so it feels more like a mistake. So if this was intentional, you missed, and that's unfortunate.
The problem with like what you're saying, like when did they fall asleep? Well, it's either before they got in the car, truck, whatever. So because that's when the loop starts, or it's after they got into the truck. But why would they get in and just suddenly fall asleep? They looked wide awake. Like Freddy doesn't have the power to make you fall asleep.
Yeah.
So this is where it kind of falls apart, because it's like, well, okay, were they in the truck already and then fell asleep? But like, how did that actually happen in the context of the film? Because Freddy can't make you fall asleep. You have to fall asleep for Freddy to get hold of you and take control. And then it sort of goes to the point again where it's like, how are they driving around in this truck if they're both asleep? And like, how are they both fallen asleep and not realize as well? Like, because oh Christ, what's her name?
Alice.
Alice, yeah. Like, if Alice fell asleep first, surely Dan would have been like, wake up, because she was the one that was driving. And if Dan fell asleep first, surely she would have stopped the truck and like nudged him awake or something, or noticed that he'd fallen asleep. Like, it just, I don't know. The film gets me thinking about it too much, but not thinking about it in a good way. Thinking about it in a wait, none of this makes sense kind of way. It pulls me out of the experience.
I think this one proved to me that we need to stop having recurring characters in the series.
Yeah.
I think
Fifth one
what
doubles down on that in a real bad way.
I mean,
But-
I'll
but-
even
We'll get to that
five.
next one.
Five.
but
Alice is not good.
the earlier movies, there's so much focus. People don't know what's happening. Like, they're all being scared by the same monster. They're terrified. They're trying to pound caffeine pills and eating raw coffee just to avoid sleep. And then that messes with your perception of when the real life ends and when the dream starts. Right?
Yeah.
This and next week, I never had a good inkling, like, where the dividing line is. And I never felt like there was that little wink, just that tiny little clue that you need to, if you're perceptive about it, maybe you understand that the shift has happened.
I mean, there's
The
that,
problem
and then
with
there's
that
the thing that I think these movies are really missing from, like, say 1, even 2. I know 2 we have a lot of really rough thoughts on. But they both got this down, which is the desperation from the main characters. Like, they
Yes.
have this, like, this evil is oppressive, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, the only thing I can do is try to stay awake, which is legitimately impossible at a certain point. Like sooner or later, this guy's coming for me. Nothing I can do. And they have this like almost level of like despair in a way. Like no one beats Freddy, and like we've kind of gotten that so far. So far, there's only really been one person who actually got away from Freddy, and I'm not super thrilled about it. We'll
it's missing that. Everybody's being chilled around me. Now I'm a cornered dog, so I have to fight back. Like I have to figure out some way to ward this thing off.
Yeah,
and we have that in the first one with like Nancy. Like they're trying to do something about it, and it's very kind of like investigative. Let's go into our dreams, see if we can figure out what's going on. But then in that same vein, as the film sort of keeps going, he just keeps offing her friends, and it gets to the point where it is just Nancy that's left, and she's like, right, I have to make a stand. I have to do something now.
Yeah.
And then you have that in the third one as well, where it's like, okay, well, he's got Joey. We the group starts off quite big, and it just like gets cut away like bit by bit, and then it just gets down to the last sort of group. And like, well, we have to go into our dreams to get Joey, otherwise Joey's dead. And I don't really feel any of that in this one. It just kind of like no one believes Alice every single time, despite the fact that there's like, I think even like one of the throwaway lines is, have you actually looked at like, what it's like to be a teenager in this town? There's a lot of teenager deaths. It's like, well, why do people suddenly like, why does it take so long for people to actually believe, oh yeah, maybe there is something weird going on here? Because there was all those teenager deaths there that many years ago. There's all these teenager deaths at that institution that our friend Kristen was at. And then the last 3 people that survived in that institute who were her friends, they're all dead now as well. Maybe there is something going on.
Dead in really weird ways. Like
dead in really weird ways. Like somehow Joey drowned himself in a waterbed. Like no one questions like, how did he get into the waterbed? They're usually sealed. And like how did he reseal it back up with him inside and then drown himself? Like it's a very elaborate way of killing yourself. Most people just take pills or hang themselves or something. They don't.
We talked about it a little bit with Friday the 13th, where it's like, or Halloween, where it's like these not accidents, but this serial killer keeps coming through and rolling through a bunch of people in town. Why wouldn't there be some sort of larger, like almost military response to some of it? But that's serial killing. Like it's terrible, it's disgusting. Some of it's created, but it's all basically I'm impaling or slashing you. To your point, Matt, it's like, if somebody's being drugged up the ceiling and then there's a fountain of blood coming out of somebody and people being turned into bugs, it's like, that would get national attention, I think.
Yeah. And like
the Johnny Depp's character's death in the first one, there would be like TV specials about that. Like, how did this child get turned into slushy?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there'd be like a recall on his mattress.
Probably, yeah. Product recall. This mattress may eat you.
That for some people that might be a feature, not a bug. But...
Oh, gross. Moving on.
Not in that wage though. Nobody wants to be turned into liquid.
There's definitely at least one person who wants to turn into liquid.
I guess, but then they get turned into liquid, and they're not.
People are weird, man. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so you want to try to move through this thing chronologically? We've just been bitching about it for about a solid 20 minutes straight. And I know Ryan walked away from the podcast. He's just not even on his camera anymore. He just gave up on it.
You're just like, oh god, I can't bear to. They're killing my childhood. This is a film I watched from my childhood.
I mean, quite honestly, and here, this is my last thing I'll say about it. Then we should try to move through it and talk about what it does and doesn't do well. We've covered really what it doesn't do well. To me, this feels like that moment where New Line went, kids are watching these.
Yeah.
And that's my guess, is like they went, I know this is made for, 17 plus, it's rated R, but we know for a fact that 12-year-olds are sneaking into this theater and watching it. So I feel like they pulled a big step back, especially from 3, which was horrifying.
Well, I was going to say, do you think 3 is the reason why that they figured people were, because that whole, like, most of the cast there are kids.
Yeah.
So if you're a kid going in there, Yeah.
feels very Monster Squad. Like it feels
Yeah.
like something kids would want to watch. So
And
that's
it's the MTV era too, so
Yep.
you definitely feel like the stylized is definitely towards that teen crowd with the colors and
Yep.
the music. The music is much
tons
more.
of music. They spent a shitload of
pronounced.
money on music.
Yep.
This is probably around the times when you started getting like Freddy Krueger lunch boxes and
Yep.
all that weird merchandising crap as well. So it's like, yeah, they must have known that kids they're either sneaking in to watch these or they're like, getting them on VHS when they hit VHS, because like this is again like the time of the VHS boom, like the blockbusters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was 2 years old when this thing came out. Like I don't remember, much of anything, but I have like very much emblazed in my mind childhood. I remember the shot of Freddy putting on the sunglasses on the beach. Like I remember seeing that around all the time when I was a kid. That was being marketed at me as like a very small child. So like this was, I'm guessing that's kind of
Ray-Bans.
Yeah. But it has that sort of vibe to it that like they know kids are watching this. We can make it violent, but not too violent. But we also make it want a little bit fun, a little bit funny. Like we'll let Robert Englund be fun. I don't think Robert Englund was very funny in this. Like I think he was mostly annoying, and I don't think he tried that hard. There's some lines in this that I'm just like, was that, and not just him, everyone, was that the best take? Seriously, was that the best take? Like if you were to like pan the camera and there's somebody holding a cue card and they just read it off a cue card, I would believe it.
There was a lot of wood in the acting.
Yeah,
in this one, a lot of wood. Like I remember talking the last episode about how the actress playing Nancy felt a bit wooden in certain scenes compared to this one.
She's amazing compared to this.
Compared to this one, Academy Award winning.
I take everything I said negative about her back because whoa. And that's actually where like I give this movie just the ever so slight edge to next week's 5 is like the acting is terrible across both. Don't get me wrong. It's consistently bad here, whereas in 5 it's wildly inconsistent. So like there's some peaks and valleys, and that upsets me more. Whereas here it's the bottom of the barrel the whole ride.
I thought Sheila was great. The girl that played the nerd, like she was great. Like the girl that played the tough 80s poofed hair out rocker who turns into a bug later, she was believable. Dan, believable. Alice, I thought Lisa Wilcox in this with her arc was great. I thought her going from meek and mild, especially how they did her makeup and then making her this tour de force, which is, fine. But like Tuesday Night couldn't act her way out of a box. Robert Englund, I think, was fine. I think he was starting to feel it in this. Like, I feel like he was starting to get the fatigue. You get that more in 5 with him. He is definitely phoning it in on 5. The brother is wildly annoying. What other actors are there? The dad was great as an alcoholic.
He was fine. The one I push back the hardest on is Lisa Wilcox. Like she ripped me out of this movie every single scene. I was not impressed at all. Like she bothered me. Like to the point where I'm like, this is not fun.
She bothers me in 5. Like 5, I feel like it's just a bunch of shouting with her. But
sure, yeah.
If you suspend yourself into what the movie is trying to do, which that I have a problem with, because if you are inheriting powers from other people, then Kristen should have been invincible, especially after 3 and all this. If she was the Dream Master,
but if she's the one that's like inheriting everyone's powers, like she would have got Taron's power, she'd have got the Wizard Master's power,
right?
Yeah.
Like all these kind of like dream.
But like
powers.
I said, they chuck the powers out the window. It's just like,
right.
Yeah, no, the power is you can fight Freddy. That's it. Good
right.
night.
But
the power in this one is like she just absorbs everyone else's skills, and it's not even like powers.
Hold on, this is where I let it go. Is it the fact that Freddy has been gone is why their dream powers have regressed, because the fantasy that Freddy builds no longer activates that in their subconscious that they are this type of dreamer. So that's where I kind of let that go. But because of the fact that she knows the most and she's willing to impart that knowledge to Alice is what makes her the Dream Master. That's just me interpreting it.
Okay.
Again, it's all dream mythos. It's all dream mythos and how you pick up on it. Because you are now making someone the master, because Kristen was the last,
Ryan,
she's-
where's your name in the credits? You're doing more work on this movie than the people who made it.
Right.
I was gonna say you're really doing the work for this film because like none of that what
It
you've
works for
explained
me.
is actually there. Like
It
there's
works.
No,
none of
you
that.
work for it. It's
Yeah.
not the other
Yeah.
way around, man.
You're an employee now, Ryan.
Hey Bob, I need my check.
Like, is this what it sounded like when I was trying to defend Terminator Salvation? Like,
It very well
Yes.
could. It's-
1000%.
So it's me looking into
I
it
understand now.
and understanding like what they're trying to get across that they did a very shitty job of doing. So, but again, that just makes the ride and the entertaining journey. This is not a good movie. It is very choppy. You can tell it's Rennie Harlan's first movie.
It's
But
his first Hollywood film. He'd
Right.
done
He'd done one
stuff
other.
before.
Yeah. But I take it for what it is, and to me, growing up with it, it was what I was entertained with. Again, Freddy is not my top tier slasher, but to me, I think this one it's decent. It's not good. It's okay. So
You'd have me at it's not good.
To be honest, I could give. I'll give the film some latitude. It's made in the middle of the writer's strike.
Uh-huh.
They had maybe a first or second draft. They hadn't got very far into it. So the fact that there is I'm going to use this term loosely. The fact that there is a consistent film that has a beginning, middle, and an end is not bad. Having said that, I'm having to give it a hell of a lot of latitude on that. Like, take it out of that context, and it's just not
You're
a
right.
good film.
You're
I
right.
wouldn't even argue.
right.
Here, I'm pushed back. I don't think it really has a beginning, middle, and end. It kind of has a beginning and an end. Like it has like I'm gonna do the coda to part 3, where I'm gonna kill off all the characters from part 3, and now we're gonna start another Freddy movie, and now it's over. Like it doesn't like the
I'll push
flow
back.
doesn't work.
I'll push back. You
Of
have
course
the end.
will.
You have the end. You have the end of the Nightmare or the Elm Street Kids, and then you have Alice sort of becoming finding who she is in terms of this
Starting a new movie, yes.
yes, and then from there we're understanding how she is the Dream Master, inheriting these powers, discovering her confidence, and how she needs to defeat this guy. And then we get to the end, which is the final confrontation in the church. They don't do a whole lot. It's in passing in a classroom scene with Bob Shea really phoning it in.
That was like so bad. Like,
And that should if they
I know he's not an actor, but come
Right.
on.
if
Like
they had done that scene better, the end would have been a little bit better in terms of the gates. And I wish there would have been, him coming into
an
the church,
actor,
right?
like, delivering that dialogue.
Right. Freddy being his gatekeeper, essentially of evil, and then the Dream Master essentially being of good. Like, I wish there was better imagery there, but there wasn't.
I wish
There's
Gatekeeper
no
meant
Dream Master
anything.
in this film. Like, I'm
The
sorry,
Gatekeeper
like
thing makes no sense. Like
It
what,
doesn't
like, the-
because it's not explained. Bob Shea did a crappy job.
no, like
it's
the
not
whole,
just
like,
that it's not explained.
my gate
We're not
bitch.
shown it.
No, well,
What
that's
gate?
the imagery is him when he walks in, and then he goes, "I've been gating my gate for a long time, bitch."
Yeah, I'm like, what gate?
Right.
And then it's
Yeah,
like,
like the
listen
film
to this Billy
doesn't-
Idol song.
the film doesn't do a good job of setting that up. Like, we don't need you shouldn't have to have a scene of like, someone telling you what the Dream Master is. Oh, these are the gates. It's a film. It's a visual medium. It should show you that, and it doesn't show you it. There is no. We don't get any like concept of like what the Dream Master is aside from Alice talking about some sort of rhyme that she heard, and then Bob Shea's really, really terrible lecture where you just, I mean, if that was like one of my teachers at school, like I am not paying attention to anything in that at all, because he's just like, well, dreams are just weird things. I don't give a flying fuck if you're paying attention to me at all. Like, but it's gonna be on the test, so you better.
Like concentrating is just
Yeah,
everything.
it's just like, and he says like there's a line in there somewhere. It's like, oh, this is gonna be on the test, so you better pay attention. It's like, well, fucking talk more like you're not half asleep yourself. Jesus.
During that scene, my note is, what the fuck is happening? All right, so we've been talking for now 35 minutes. I called it out. We're at 20 minutes of just bitching about this movie. Now it's been over half an hour of bitching about this movie. I want to try to talk about some things that we actually liked in it. Like, is there something... Why are we waving? Oh,
This is a bad horror movie.
that was phenomenal. I gotta keep recording though, buddy.
Why are we waving? Because Freddy's about to kill you.
That's very cool, buddy. But I gotta keep recording.
That's Jason.
It's
Oh,
just
thank
the
you.
friendliest warning.
I'm a,
I was just like, wait, why are we waving? Oh, my screen's waving too.
So, why are we waving? Hi, Bryan. You have an intruder. He's gonna murder you.
Nice knowing you.
He might it someday. Anyhow, let's talk things that actually worked in this movie. No, Corin, I got it.
So what worked for me? Honestly, there's some. As much as you can harp on this movie. There are a few shots you're like, okay, that's a pretty good shot. Like when Sheila is in her dream or in her dream.
I was gonna try to be nicer to her than you composed a couple shots, okay?
Right? Yeah, he did. When Sheila is about to die and it's the aerial view and it pulls back and you see like it's an optical illusion where the floor is going in. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
When we see Freddy for the first time and it's the shadow, even when he's walking around the cars and like just the cinematography of his eyes, I thought that was pretty cool.
Like I said, I like the setup for the Kincaid sequence. If the Kincaid sequence had ended better, I would have been into the movie more, but it lost me right there. So like,
If they'd have used the cars, like if Kincaid would have been like, one of the cars like comes to life and just like runs him over or something like, but it's not. It's just like, you have a load of stuff happening, and then all of a sudden it's almost like an insert shot where like all of a sudden Freddy just grabs on him and goes, ha ha, stab, stab, stab. Oh, stab,
but just 4 times with one go.
Yeah.
Now, the stuff that I liked in this thing where it decided to go a little bit weirder. Like when she goes to the movie and the movie goes completely insane. Like that's
I like that.
Like
I
that was
really like
fun.
that.
Yeah, like my note there is, she went to a 4DX screening of Twisters. If everybody watched behind the scenes of that, you'll get the joke. I like the people pizza. Like it was super gross, but it was kind of weird. But like that's the sort of like nightmare stuff where I'm like, okay, do more of this.
Yeah.
And then the thing that I think was the absolute best was is it Debbie? Debbie turning into the roach. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was legitimately cool.
Because you set up early on that she doesn't like bugs.
Yep. That's
So
a
like
good setup.
it's her sort of like huge fear would be becoming a bug, and like it goes back to what we talked about in the last one where like Freddy kills people with their fears.
Yes.
And it's the only kill that I can think of in this film where that happens is Debbie with the bug. Like all the others, it's just stab or.
Yeah, they might do a little bit of setup for what scares him. I mean, Joey got killed by boobs again. Like that's
Yeah, like,
that's his lot in life.
That's his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Mine too, as well. To be fair, I'm sure boobs will be my undoing.
I mean, hey, it's taken out a lot of people, I'm sure. But
They got the booby prize. Sorry.
What are I walking on?
We were talking about how Joey was
Okay, this
brought
is
down
what
by
I'm going to say
boobs
about
again.
Joey's death, though.
What I was talking, you stepped on what I was saying, so I'm not sure.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I already said it. I've said it many times. He got brought down by boobs again.
Yeah, that's what's at least they are consistent with his character in 3.
Yeah, in a sad way, but
They're consistent with his character. Boobs, death.
yeah. But the shot when they reveal Freddy in the waterbed is a cool shot. They don't do anything with it because like they don't have the time or the money or like the capabilities to really do anything with it. It's more so just like, look at this. All right, it's over. We're gonna make a wet dream joke and get out of this.
Yeah.
Again,
I
what's
think
that,
I think
like
the
4
film
or 5 times they've made that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. The film. Do you know what the film needed? The film needed another draft on the script, and it needed 2 more weeks in the shooting schedule.
That would have helped for sure.
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of really good setup stuff, but then it just kind of feels rushed,
and then
and
like,
it feels rushed in a way that's like, oh well, we've got to get, we've got to hit a release date here, and we don't really have the money to do this. Well, we're just gonna have to throw everything we can at it, and well, we've run out of time on this, so just have him stab him and then move on.
Yeah. I want to talk just about the bug lady for a second, just
She's
because
great.
if this is what we agree is the highlight of the movie, let's give it its due a bit. I was not expecting body horror elements in any of the Nightmare movies, so getting that here was like I'm not a big body horror person. I really like The Substance. If you haven't seen The Substance, best movie this year. But like if it's done well, then I'm for it. And this one was actually done pretty well. Like everything from like her arms breaking, and then you see like the bug bits start coming out, and like she starts losing it as it's all happening. Like this is, you can actually feel. I don't know. I didn't catch the actor's name, but you can actually feel like her terror of like this is exactly my worst nightmare, and it's happening. And then like as it goes on to where she falls down, and then the cockroach of her pushes out of her body.
Yeah,
it's gross.
It's very
and
The
it's
Fly.
awesome.
Like it reminds me a lot of The Fly. Especially towards the end of it as well, where he literally, like, well, the human element falls away and he's just a giant fly.
Yeah.
What I like about that as well is where she first starts using the bench press, and then you see the bar come down, and like just the reflection of Freddy in the chrome weight plates as the barbell comes down and goes up. I just thought, oh, that's really cool. That's
I don't
really
believe in
good
you.
sort of thing.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
When the movie worked, it wasn't the worst. It just, I think it only worked once.
You can check in, but you can't check out.
Yeah, and that's where it lost me. You found it.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles did it better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
like
the
so
only
there's,
time you
like,
can ever say the Eagles did it better.
Welcome to Hotel Road City.
Oh man. But then the actual kill, yet again, kind of a letdown. I mean, I get it. That's what you do with that kill, but just like, whatever.
They
I was
could have
enjoying
been,
it up to then.
there could have been more with it, and I think that's the kind of problem. Is I think we mentioned it a few times. There's a lot of really good setups for something, but they never really managed to pay it off.
Like,
and that's why I think where if they had 2 more weeks on the shooting schedule, they could have set something up a bit more elaborate for these. They'd have the time to really sort of flesh them out a bit more, and like another draft or 2 on the script as well. Really flesh those ideas out. And it is a shame because it like we look at this having coming off of 3. Like if we were to like, I don't know if it's maybe like just coming off the back of 3 immediately, and like watching it in isolation, it's a better experience. Because we're always going to be looking at going, this is coming off of the back of that one, which was incredible, probably the best in the whole series. And then you go into that, it's the same thing. Like it's the drop in quality we had with, going from Jesus, Friday the 13th 4 to 5.
4 to 5, yeah.
It's
That's
just you
this
have
drop
everything
this drop
shoots on
bothers me
all
more
cylinders in
than-
3.
The drop here bothers me more than the one in 4 to 5, and I don't know why, because I don't think I put these movies pretty on par with each other. But maybe it's just that I'm more of a Jason fan, so like he just has me more. And I mean, granted, it's not Jason in that one, but you get what I'm saying. But
Maybe that's why for me. Maybe that's why it doesn't bother you as much because 5 isn't even actually Jason.
Yeah,
whereas 4 is Freddy, and it's we have that drop off.
It's not so much you're waiting for Freddy to show up in this one, whereas you had the elements in 3 of horror. This is more, let's wait and see what Freddy has to bring and what type of invented kills you're going to have, which, Bryan, director of Friday the 13th Part 7, worked on the special effects on it. He's actually responsible for Sheila's death. So, I mean, in that aspect, it works. It still kind of plays on fear in terms of dreams, while the aspect of the outside world having, some issue. But again, for me, it's knowing what's coming in 5 and 6. I choose to like this movie and be entertained by it. I don't think it's a work of brilliance, but it is a movie that was no script. They did what they could. Rennie Harlan was a real asshole on set, but the product far outweighs what we have coming next.
And that fills me with dread. Like because like when we were talking about how we were pairing these movies up, we said like, oh, we have like one good and one bad almost every recording, and I started watching this one. Even Joel mentioned in our chat like it was 4 the good one. Like I'm halfway through. Like I remember Ryan saying 4 was the good one, and like I get it. Like I like.
I don't think I said good. I said okay.
No, you said good.
I'm pretty sure you said good, but
you said good. You said that you really liked 4.
I said I should have prefaced it's what I grew
comparatively.
But like, I understand to a degree. Like, there's plenty of terrible horror movie that I really like. I like every Friday the 13th movie. I know they're all not good. But like, so I can understand where people are coming from. I can sympathize. This one just really, really did not work for me. And like, there's things they could have done that would have gotten me there. Like, I go back to like the bug lady again. I think about like, maybe when she sees the bug in the beginning of the movie, she freaks out and someone kills the bug for her. And then during the dream, she turns into a bug, and that same guy who killed the bug for her kills her by accident. And like, there's stuff you could do that would be like, oh, we could elevate this without changing too much.
And that's the thing, what I mean, where like, you know, a couple more drafts on the script, that could have come out.
Yep.
That kind of idea could have come out. And then like a couple more weeks, like couple more shooting weeks. Like, you know, you have the ability to set that up, like to create that thing. Because a lot of it just feels like it feels the same. Like a lot of the sets, like it just feels like they're reusing the same set, just dressing it a little bit different.
Right. And what bothers me is the fact that 5 did not learn from this, because 5 was the exact same way. Like they greenlit this right after 4 was done, and they already had a release date before even a script was done. So I think that's where the disconnect was in terms of 5.
This was shot during the writer's strike, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that also explains a shitload.
Yeah.
Because if you do it, if you don't understand how writer's strike work, if you have something written, you can shoot. Once it's written, if the strike is going on, no writer can work on it. So if you have the worst script known to man, that's what you're shooting. Good luck. See Transformers 2. Like that's... You got nothing. Like, good luck. You get what you get, and that's. You know,
I mean, it's still Transformers 2. It's not. It
wasn't going to be good either way. Neither was this. But this one could have been better.
Yeah. Keep going back to we're talking a little bit about how us going through binging these sort of informs or tints our perspective with the drop off. I sometimes when we do this think about, if this was the movie, the first movie I saw in this series, how would I react to it? And boredom, and I don't need to see any of the others. That's sort of my takeaway. If this is the first time I'm watching it, why would I bother seeing any more if this is what's on the plate?
That makes sense.
Yeah, and like that's. I mean, we go back to when we talked last week when we're on 3, and why I never got to 3 because I didn't like 2. And then I said last week if I'd watched 3, I would have watched the rest of these. I still think I would have. This would have bumped me though. Like if I was like 3 is amazing and I put this on, I'm like, I think I'm done. Like I think 3 is the good one. But knowing me, you know, I started this podcast because I like binging stuff. I probably would have gotten through all of them, but like, yeah, my
and you know, 7's coming.
Yeah, my ground is shaking, and 7 is good. And you know, this is this is making me appreciate Freddy vs. Jason a shitload more.
I mean, yeah, I am wondering like how the conversation on Freddy vs. Jason is going to go in the context of the Friday the 13th film, the Nightmare on Elm Street films versus the Friday the 13th films, because like we had a very leaning, like we were trying to lean more towards into the Jason part of it on that one because we were doing the Jason series, and I think like looking at like like Freddy vs. Jason is in terms of like a ranking of the Freddy films is probably going to be a hell of a lot higher than it is in the ranking of in the Jason films.
Informed by what we watched, I'm thinking like, yeah, that might be in my top 3.
But
I hope you like 7, Joel.
I mean, we'll get into this because we are going to re-rank like the horror trilogy at the end of this thing, and it's like it's interesting seeing like like I said, I know all the Jason movies aren't great, but like even when they're bad, they're more consistently fun. At least compared to this one, and I know, like, you know, maybe Tom Arnold will really really warm my heart in the next one. But I guess we'll find out.
Roseanne will.
Oh God, I forgot it was Roseanne. I'm just imagining them like the redneck couple in the one Friday the 13th movie, like where the guy's like on his motorcycle screaming at his mom the whole time. That's what I'm
Oh
imagining.
It's
God!
almost like that. It is almost like that.
Okay.
Oh no, not that stupid family again.
Would you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, that's who I'm imagining Tom Arnold and Roseanne will be when we get to that movie.
Yeah.
But I think we've ran out of gas on this one. If anybody has a favorite quote, we can get there now. If anybody's a favorite quote, we can.
Can we also just very quickly talk about how Alice, quote unquote, defeats Freddy at the end?
I don't want
showing.
I hate it.
By showing him his reflection is
Already
so
talked
stupid
about it.
because
Let's move on.
well, no, I just no, because my point of that is like he gets defeated by seeing his own reflection, but in the fucking third film, he created a bunch of himself in
mirrors.
reflections
Yeah.
in mirrors. Like, so why did that not defeat him?
The first
like,
movie, he jumps out of a mirror. Like,
Yeah,
get out of here.
like-
Right. It's okay because it's like I said, if there is a Dream Master, we should have seen Kristen getting all these powers in 3 when they died.
At least you know what's her Alice in this one. When she gets the powers, she gets a cool outfit.
yeah.
Very
Oh
And
my
a
God.
really
Very 80s.
poorly casted body double to do the nunchuck
Nunchuck,
stuff
yes,
from
the
behind.
wig.
Like they didn't even get the color of the hair on the wig right.
Not even
Who's
close.
got back? Black hair, red hair, black hair, red hair.
Oof. And all this, and we didn't even talk about the invisible karate scene, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. All right,
So
let's do
bad as
kills
well.
and quotes and kills if you got them. I can go first because I had quotes written down, but I mostly just wrote things down when they were so wooden they made me laugh. And the line that made me laugh the absolute hardest throughout the entire film was, "Alice, you'll need my power." Phenomenal. One of the worst delivered lines in movie history, and I'm glad I got to see it. For best kills, I gotta go with the Bug Lady because it's the only thing I've ever been able. Like I've really gone back to that a lot in this episode because the only thing I liked in the movie. So clearly that's my favorite kill. That's it for me. Let's go with Joel next. Joel.
So my line is between sort of a jock type and Debbie when she's pulling her inhaler. "Hey, baby, you're sucking on the wrong nozzle. Hey, yo,
Wrong
needle
end.
there.
If you're gonna say it,
I
say
bet
it
you're
right.
the only male in the school suffering from penis envy."
Can you do the motion, Joel, too?
No. Yeah, kill's the same as yours, Brian. I mean, it's
The good one.
yes.
All right, we're gonna let Ryan go last because he actually enjoys this movie. So Matt.
The lines that like the only one that I can really think of is just where like Freddy's like, "Welcome to Wonderland, Alice," just because like the Alice in Wonderland, ha ha ha. It's kind of an okay line, but it's just
Yawn.
it's very. The dialogue is not great in this. Like,
What's your
I'm kind of
favorite
with you,
kill?
Brian. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm looking at going like I'm laughing at the poor line delivery more than
Oh,
anything else.
I have so many of those, like so many, that are just amazing. This is it, mind over matter.
Hey, Sheila used to say that.
Oh my god! There's just
We're dropping like flies, man. And then he runs down the hallway like a. I was like, every time I watch this movie, I'm like, fall, fall, fall. Knowing that he doesn't fall, but I still want him to fall.
I mean, I've always got the. You think you've got what it takes? I've been guarding my gate a long time, bitch. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Take off the bitch on that as well. That could be a tall man line.
Yeah, that's true. But it'd be delivered way better by the tall.
Well, yeah, it would be delivered way better because it would be delivered by Angus Scrimm as the tall man. Who
Oh man.
every line that guy delivered was just gold.
What a great series.
I love
Yeah.
Phantasm. Man,
Yep.
who knew how consistent Phantasm was?
Consistently awesome. I mean, I think we all know what the kill is going to be Debbie and the Roach and stuff. So what I will say, just to stick some variety in there, is I like the setup for Kristen's death on the beach. I like the glove as the shark fin in the water and it going on through the sand. I think that's a really cool concept. And again, they do fuck all with it.
Yep. The
It
fact
just
that she
comes out of the
runs at
sand
him
and then
to
just
get
like pushes
caught.
her through the quicksand, and then she goes like falls through, and she's in a building, and then he throws her into a furnace. What are you doing, movie? Like
That it felt so much like, can we get this actress in a bikini? I feel like we can get this actress in a bikini. Let's write a bikini scene.
Rennie Harlan did, and it was not a very revealing. And Tuesday night's like, I'm not wearing this, and so that's
Good.
why they. Yep.
I'm all for
Because
women
Rennie
saying, "No, the fuck I
Harlan's
said
like-
that."
Rennie Harlan's like, yeah, teenage boys will want to see this. So you guys are exactly right. They're catering to an audience. That's why they had Linnea quickly come in and be one of the girls bursting out of the chest, because she will always go nude.
Hey.
hmm.
Ryan, what's your quote and kill?
My quote is from when we have Robert Englund dressing in drag,
Oh boy.
and I thought it was great. But
It
it's
just
when
made me
he-
go like, did Christopher Nolan like this movie? Like, is this a Joker?
but it's just when he goes, I want to draw some blood. So I was like, that's funny. And then my kill is just because I had childhood asthma and I watched this movie growing up. I think Sheila's death was very well done. Sans the robot arm, even in the documentary, Rennie Harlan's like, I don't know why we put that in there.
I do wonder.
I think it's because
I mean,
she had the thing, the sound frequency thing. But I just think, like, to show Freddy using something other than like a glove and just, sucking the life out of her, I thought that was cool, and I thought that the makeup and the dummy looked extremely well done.
I don't disagree with you. It is cool. It didn't move the needle for me at all. Like I kind of forgot about it until you started talking about it again when we started recording. Like that's all right. We did it. We got through Freddy 4. No worse for the wear. We're still excited about the rest of this franchise, right?
It was cathartic.
5 and 6.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That applies to a lot of things right now. Just laugh through the tears. We got Freddy 5, The Dream Child, coming up next. This movie is it's a trip. I can't say it's good. I fell asleep more in 5 than I did in 4, so it might be a little more scattershot next week.
Yay!
I don't like either one of them. I think I give 5 the slight edge, but it probably doesn't deserve it. That might move next week. We'll find out next week. But either way, if these are both better than 6, good luck to us all in 2 weeks.
we keep talking about 7 though. Apparently 7's good. So
7 is
good.
Wes Craven comes back for 7, so
Yes.
7 is, and it's
And
very
so does
very
everyone else. John Saxon, Heather Langenkamp.
it's very meta as well.
Yes.
Like not in a bad way, but it works. 7 is good. I'm
Bob Shaye's in
curious-
it, and he's good. Not trying to be a teacher, but Bob Shaye's in it and is good.
Isn't Tuesday Night in it as well?
I think she's at the funeral.
Yeah, I thought she had a.
So is the
cameo.
guy that plays Rod.
Yeah. But like I'm cautiously optimistic going back to that one. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's got to be better than this.
Please God, let it be better than this.
Low bars to clear, but it's got to be better than this. I don't really feel like doing plugs. It doesn't feel like a world for plugs these days. Does anybody have anything they want to plug?
Come
Great.
back
No.
next week.
Come back next week. We will keep talking
Yeah.
about these wonderful films. Hey, the movies might be terrible, but we have a great time talking about them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Next week's going to be fun.
Oh boy. All right, so we're just gonna say goodbye. Bye, bye,
Bye.
Zach?
bye, bye, bitch. I don't. Did we have an outro for this?
No, I don't think we like.
One,
Maybe we.
2.
Oh yeah, no, we did.